The favorite Seinfeld episode of its titular star won't come as too much of a surprise to most of the show's fans, as it's one of the greatest masterpieces in the history of TV sitcoms. Jerry Seinfeld revealed his favorite episode of the sitcom classic during a Q&A with fans back in 2014, and his answer didn't disappoint. Seinfeld named 2 episodes of his show as the ones that stand out most for him, but this season 7 episode was the one he most enjoyed working on. It's a popular choice, too, which is up there among the best episodes in Seinfeld's 9-season run. It was also one of the last involving the show's co-creator, Larry David. Jerry Seinfeld's favorite episode of his sitcom is The Rye. George's parents bring a marble rye to dinner with his prospective in-laws. During a 2014 Reddit AMA, Jerry Seinfeld revealed that his favorite Seinfeld episode of all time is The Rye. The comedian enjoyed making this episode of the show more than any other, and in his answer to fans, he explained why certain scenes in The Rye necessitated a different filming setup from other Seinfeld episodes. The episode's plot centers on the family home of George Costanza's fiancée, Susan Ross, immediately prior to her sudden exit from Seinfeld via an off-screen death later in season 7. Elsewhere in the episode, Elaine is dating a jazz musician, and Kramer operates a handsome cab. Why The Rye is a sitcom masterpiece. The way its nonsensically brilliant storylines intersect is sheer genius. The Rye is quite simply one of the high-water marks of Seinfeld's humor. The disastrous meeting between George and Susan's parents, in particular, which features standout comic performances from Jerry Stiller as Frank Costanza and Estelle Harris as his wife and George's mother, is one of the highlights of the entire series. Meanwhile, Elaine's overblown reaction to Jerry's assertion to a mutual friend that she and the jazz musician she's dating are among her best romantic storylines. As so often happens in Seinfeld, though, it's Kramer who steals the show, with his senseless decision to feed the horse working his handsome cab a canned beef and pasta meal known as beefarino. More than anything else, however, it's the way that the episode's 3 different storylines overlap and intersect that elevates it to the level of a masterpiece. Most ingeniously, George's attempts to plant a replacement marble rye loaf in the kitchen of his fiancée's family to make up for his parents' social faux pas combines with Kramer's story to hilarious effect. The idea that a horse getting gassy could sabotage a plan to prevent a stolen rye bread from ruining George's prospective marriage is the kind of nonsensically brilliant storyline that only Seinfeld's writers would come up with. It's ultimately episodes like The Rye that set the show completely apart from its contemporaries. Filming for The Rye was different from any other Seinfeld episode. Some scenes needed an outdoor set on the Paramount Studios lot. Michael Richards as Kramer with a horse in Seinfeld episode The Rye. Because Kramer's harebrained scheme in this Seinfeld episode involves a lot of scenes outside, filming The Rye was a very different experience for the show's cast and crew from other episodes. Specifically, a sequence which involved Kramer picking up Susan's parents in his handsome cab from outside their house required the kind of outside set Seinfeld hadn't needed before. Every scene of the episode set outside in front of Susan's family home was shot on the Paramount Studios lot. What's more, a scene in which Kramer takes some Asian tourists around Central Park in his cab seems to have been filmed on the lot, too. Seinfeld was impressed by how lifelike the lot appeared, noting, in this sense, the actor's reasoning for The Rye being his favorite Seinfeld episode may be a little different from that of fans, as it comes from the perspective of someone working on the episode behind the scenes. At the same time, it's hard to deny that even by the show's unparalleled standards, this episode is an all-time classic.